Hi everyone, this is Chris Brazel. Welcome to my world, and today we're talking about brain codes and environments and particular bedrooms. I've got some amazing tips for you, and at the end I'll tell you one of the brain codes that will often link to ADHD kids or to adults, because let's face it, when you go and you get diagnosed ADHD, they go through a whole lot of questions. When you come to me, I don't need to ask any questions except for one, and from that one question I'll know whether or not you have an ADHD brain code. And then not only that, because of your other codes, I will know what we need to put into place to help you manage always fidgeting, always moving, no concentration, etc. And that comes back to the other codes that actually connect to that one code. So let's have a look at this bedroom. This is so bad. There is so many mistakes in this bedroom. I do hope your child or even your bedroom is nothing like this. So let's look at it from a perspective and we'll go through all the different points. And there's so many here. It's amazing. So point one, you've got pale blue gray walls. Now, if you've got a person who gets emotional, who gets tied up in emotions, blue walls do not work for them because they stay in that water of emotions. But with this design, they've got the blue on the walls, but the quilt is also a zigzag. Now that element is actually the water element. So this poor child is up here in emotions, but even on the bed, it's emotions. And you really need stability and a focus for someone. So if you're focusing or you can't focus because your mind's all over the place, it's up, down, up, down. The worst quilt to put on a bed is a quilt that goes up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, it's just dumb. So besides the blue and the water element there, they've got the blue and the water element here. The other thing is when you come into the door, they've put this into the corner. They think it's a bit of a design. It's like, my mind is all over the place. I cannot focus. Simple. And not only that, they take it to a point and they bring it down. And when you're standing at the door, you're looking into that corner, which makes a child feel as if it's backed into a corner, or a human feel as if they're backed into the corner. Then they've got the pictures, which you go up, down, and then you go down, and then you go down. Again, movement like that, the same as the quilt, is the water element. So even when they put the pictures on the wall, which is the blue, which is the water element, they put the pictures in a flow. My life is up, down, up, down, up, down. I have no stability. If you want to focus, you have to have stability. You have to be in the present moment. The next thing, they cut off the cat at the throat, so I can't even speak up. I can't tell everyone how I'm feeling. And again, with the giraffe, they cut both pictures off at the throat, which means the child or the adult can't focus long enough to see the bigger picture because their mind's up, down, tied up in emotions. So then we've got the dots. The other thing, I don't know whether you've picked it up or not, the plants are all drooping down. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. And it's always reflecting back on the past. And even over here, we've got things that droop down. We are trying to be a star here. Can't draw a star, but we are trying to be a star. But at the end of the day, yes, that's what we want. But at the end of the day, to be a star, you have to be focused. You can be a star even with ADHD. I've got some amazing ADHD kids who are the best entrepreneur, outside the box thinking, who have a business even from the age of 10. Now, even on the mat, they've got squares going up, down, up, down. So a child who has a mind all over the place, an adult who has a mind all over the place. This one room, from the mat, all the patterns, to the bedspread, to on the wall here, to even the flow here, the colors on the wall reflecting back, is disastrous for a mind. And even when you go over here, they've got a pattern which is exactly the same over here. Now, when you want focus, you've got to have playing, which is at least they've got a chair and they've got playing here, which is fine. So your bedroom connects to your brain. Your bedroom isn't an emotion. Yes, at the end of the day, we go there, but we need to go there and feel great. We need to be able to go there, and we need to be able to bring our mind to peace so we can face another day tomorrow. And one of my favorite stories, and it's in our book, Henry C., it's on the website if you'd like to go and get it, is about a young boy, and he was told he couldn't go back to school unless he was medicated because he was too disrupted. He was moving all the time. He had to be under a counselor or a psychiatrist. The mother was just beside herself. How can I do that to my child? So then she got in touch with me. I went and looked at his bedroom. This one's pretty bad. His was bad, but in a different way. So you stood at the door and you went in, which was fine. You're looking at a kid's room. So his bed came this way. That was okay. But the bedspread was similar to this. Up, down, up, down, up, down. The other thing, he was only 9 years, but he had this king-size bed. And I mean a king-size bed. There was nothing in the room that represented a 9-year-old child. Nothing. A king-size bed. Here, walls were just white, door when you come in, no pictures on the wall, nothing. I turned to the mum and I said, this is the worst kid's 9-year-old bedroom I have ever seen in my life. And she just looked at me, and then the son said, folded his arm at the same time, and he said, I've been trying to tell her this bedroom does my head in. And so the kid knew, but the parent didn't connect with it. So what did we do? We took the bedroom, instead of being the bed here, which he did have view there and there, we put the bed, but we bought double-decker beds. So we took him from feeling one little tiny person in this massive bed to a double-decker bed, and we gave him security of the wall there, security of the wall there, and he could see what was coming through the door. When he came through the door, we put a set of shelves here, and we put all kids' books on it, which were amazing. On the wall here, we put a picture, and I must say it was one of mine, of the horse and the little boy leaning against the horse, which is absolutely awesome. And then we put a plain bedspread on here and another one underneath. We turned that kid's from the picture on the wall being for a young boy to deck bed so he could bring his friends over, to books in his bookcase with ornaments on top when he came in. We took it and made it into a kid's room. So his room wasn't as bad as this one, but it wasn't great ever. So your bedroom connects to your identity. Your bedroom connects to your feeling. Your bedroom is where you go every single night, except for those who sleep on the couch or in their parents' rooms. But your bedroom needs to represent what you want to have in life, where you want to go in life, and how you want to be able to handle life. You don't want it to be a roller coaster. You don't want to be crying in emotions. You don't want to be all up in the air over here. And you don't want pattern after pattern after pattern. You don't want to be a 9-year-old in a big king-size bed with nothing else. You want your bedroom to represent you. You want your bedroom to represent what it is you want to come into your life. So you've watched all the way through. Let's look at one brain code that when someone says to me, I've been diagnosed as ADHD, I'll say, okay. And I ask them for their date of birth, because that's where it goes back to at the end of the day. And it's normally, if they've got an ADHD real problem, they will have a 5 brain code. So that 5, depending where it sits, then says yes. So 5 means move, 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 and it's constantly moving, constantly moving. Now, if it goes with a 28, it makes it a little bit harder because it's always in transition and there's no focus. Now, how I work with a child or an adult who's got ADHD, we look at their bedroom, we look at the clothes they wear, we look at everything around, But then I look at where their other codes are. I look at their path code and I look at their force code. And depending on those, I will know how much movement, focus, emotions they get tied up in, but I'll know where to put them. So if they happen to have a 6, then I know with the 6 and the 5 that they'll also have panic attacks, anxiety, fear and nervousness, but I also know they're very visual. So a room like this would totally be destroying their mind. So thanks for watching. If you want to know more about your brain codes, you want to know more about your kids' brain codes, get in touch, do an inquiry. It's there to help you. I would love to be able to help you because there's no need to really get tied up in this mess of ADHD and thinking there is no solution. There is always solution, from our drawing to our art to our amazing ball program, which is absolutely unreal. But most of the most important things is to get that bedroom right, get this quilt right, get the pictures on the wall right, and you'll be amazing how you can change your life. Cheers for now.